During the offseason, the Jets obtained many Houston players, and coincidentally, it was John Ferguson to whom the Jets turned the next season when it became apparent they would get into the NHL. Fergie had been a rugged team leader during his days with Montreal and took that same no-nonsense style with him behind the bench of the New York Rangers. Behind the Jets bench, he placed good friend Tommy McVie. And without Hull, Hedberg, and Nielsen, McVie molded the Houston and Winnipeg leftovers into a tight-checking yet explosive unit. In the Avco Cup semifinals, it looked like the same old Jets. A third-place finish forgotten as they took 2 straight from the Nordique in Quebec and routed them at home to advance to their 4th straight Avco Cup final. That started at Northlands Coliseum with a shocking win over Edmonton. Peter Sullivan sets up Rich Preston to give the Jets a 1-0 lead. In the second period, Roland Erickson feeds Billy Lasuk, and the Jets go up 2-0. Great goaltending by Gary Smith, and Preston's second goal gives Winnipeg a 3-1 upset victory. Game 2 was even closer. Paul Terbenci sends Preston and Peter Sullivan in on a 2-on-1. Sullivan beats Dave Dryden on the shot to tie it at 1-all. The Oilers regained the lead, but Morris Lukowicz ties it again on a screenshot. Then with 4 minutes left to play, Luke sets up Willie Lindstrom, who rips a shot past Dryden. The Jets win Game 2 3-2. Edmonton wins Game 3 in Winnipeg, and the Jets are struggling in Game 4 until Sullivan and Preston get them on the scoreboard. Still, the game was tied with 6 minutes left. Billy Lasuk to Lyle Moffat, and he 1 times the winner past Dryden. A 3-2 victory in one of the toughest playoff games in their history leaves the Jets only 1 win away from the championship. The Oilers win Game 5, but back home, Willie Lindstrom gets the Jets started. A power play goal makes it 1-0. Still in the first, Sullivan sets up Kent Nielsen with Glenn Hicks providing some help. Barry Long had scored his first goal of the playoffs in the first period, and in the third takes the puck the length of the ice to beat Dryden again. And finally, the man who started it all, Willie Lindstrom, scores the final Jets goal in the WHA. It all started with Ben Hatskin in 1972, and it was Hatskin who presented Lars-Erik Schubert with the Avco Cup that brought an end to the WHA. Years they were, the World Hockey Association providing Winnipeg fans with a lot of entertainment, but now it's the NHL Winnipeg Jets who've taken over, and this past season, I think, recaptured some of those feelings that we enjoyed back in the late 70s with the WHA Jets. More on the old-timers who played in the WHA years and the reunion that they held last September when we return with more on the Good Guys Wear White. Right now played a prominent role for the Winnipeg Jets, as you noticed in those years. Lyle Moffat, really a goal-scoring machine, Moff, more than I remembered you as being when I was watching some of those highlights.
Well, it's always nice to contribute, Peter, and the playoffs were something that we took pride in, and we did the best we could. We worked as hard as we could, and we got some big goals that were very important to us, and it was a lot of fun.
You've been with the Jets right from those WHA days, and then now into the front office role you have as Director of Community Relations with the Jets. So you can remember those days back in the World Hockey Association and the excitement in the building, that electricity during the Avco Cup finals. I think the NHL Jets have finally captured that in this last year's playoffs.
I believe so, Peter. Yeah, I think during these playoffs with the Good Guys Wear White, our fans came to the building with the great spontaneity, the excitement, the electricity that we witnessed back in the 70s, and it's nice to see. It's good for the players. They get it could be worth $1.50. They were excited.
I don't know about the players, but as a fan, a spectator, I had goosebumps when they walked into that first night and the rafters were raised. I think it has to get the players inspired.
It did. I've talked to a couple of players since the promotion went on and since the playoffs have been over, and they were ecstatic about the fact that they were overwhelmed by the white and by the fans' turnout, by the response they had, by the backing they were getting, and it was encouraging for them. They felt that they were liked and wanted and needed, and they responded by beating the Flames, and I think it was just great.
Well, congratulations on the promotion, Lyle. It was basically your idea, I know, and it was carried off extremely well. We got the whole city involved, and I think it made hockey much more fun. But speaking of fun, that's what Lyle and a bunch of his friends had back last September with the WHA reunion. As the Jets from old-time years came back and played this game, Rod Black had a report.
A heart-rendering afternoon at the Winnipeg Arena as the Golden Jet. Bobby Hull is reunited with his hotline teammates Anders Hedberg and Ulf Nilsson. The blue squad, comprised of ex-Jets, will open scoring first. Dan LeBratton moves in and beats Gord Tummelson. It's 1-0 for the Blues. Moments later, they make it 2-0. When Dave Dunn moves in, Tummelson with the save, but the former luxury liner Norm Boden scores. It's 2-0 for the blue squad. Who says this is exhibition? Barry Long hauling down Ulf Nilsson. So the Whites go on the power play and watch as the old hotline will rework some of that magic. Nilsson over to Anders Hedberg, slips it under Joe Daly. It was 2-1 for the Blues. Now Nilsson in the corner to Mike Ford. He hasn't lost that shot one bit, has he? And it's 2-2. Third period, watches Veli-Pekka Katola ties the game at 5. Then some controversy. This game wasn't without any. Joe Daly hiding his goal stick for some reason. Referee Bill Friday moves in. And yes, it is just a little illegal, just a little too big. So Friday confiscates the goal stick and Daly had to use the regular one. This game would even go into overtime. Yes, overtime. Veli-Pekka Katola with the hat trick and the winning goal. The Whites win it 7-6 in overtime. A winning game for not only the fans, but for the charity, ALS, and for the players who could relive some of those glory days.
It's one of the bigger thrills because you know the talents that are there, and of course time has marched on with all of them, of course, but it's a great afternoon to have these fellas getting the puck tired instead of themselves.
It feels, I tell you, you have it or you don't have it. We don't have the skills, but we know we were supposed to be on the ice. It's a fabulous feeling that you just really will get a long career.
We got some great guys here. We had some great harmony when we played, and we were younger and, you know, successful here, and it's nice that they could come back and enjoy such a thing as this. Yeah, it's great.
The players of the game, Anders Hedberg and Barry Long. And what about the Golden Jet? Bobby Hull, who was reunited with Ulf and Anders, and they were together once again.
Well, right at 74, when they came along here, I was nearly at the end of my road. And when they came, and they added life to me, and they gave me another 3 or 4 years to play.
Well, they provided us with many laughs that day, but many great moments in the years previous to that. We're back with more on Good Guys Wear White right after these words.